We want to send you out to Los Angeles, where Nick Reiner is making his first court appearance. Let's go into the courtroom.
Good morning, Your Honor. Alan Jackson, along with Caleb Mason and Elizabeth Little, and Mortimer Jackson, appointed on behalf of Mr. Reiner, who's currently present in court in custody.
Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. Habib Bailey for the people. Jonathan Chung for the people, Your Honor.
Thank you. And counsel, how would you like to proceed today?
Your Honor, if we could, I would like to ask for a continuance of the arraignment. I want to get it clear at this juncture. It's too early. We've coordinated with counsel from the DA's office, and January 7th, with the court's permission, will be a convenient date for us to come back for potential arraignment.
Thank you. At this time, I'll take a waiver, speedy arraignment waiver from your client.
Thank you.
Mr. Reiner, do you have a constitutional and statutory right to a speedy arraignment? Your counsel is requesting that your arraignment be continued to January 7, 2026. Do you waive your right to a speedy arraignment so that your arraignment can be heard on January 7, 2026? And does counsel join in the waiver?
I join, Your Honor.
The court finds that the defendant has made a knowing and intelligent waiver of his right to a speedy arraignment, and that his counsel joins in that waiver. Matter set January 7, 2026 for arraignment in this department. Bail to stand at no bail. Anything further on that case?
Not by the defense, Your Honor.
Anything further?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, there was very short and sweet. Alan Jackson asking for that continuance of the arraignment, and you couldn't see Nick Reiner. That was, by the way, not our photographer. Court TV photographer would have zoomed in. He was right behind that sort of glass behind Alan Jackson to the right there, but the camera operator didn't zoom in, so we couldn't see him. Let's go out, though, to Los Angeles. That's where we find Court TV field reporter Cody Thomas there. All right, Cody, you're inside the courtroom. You be our eyes and ears, because frankly, that the video wasn't very good. We didn't see Nick Reiner at all. What did you see? What can you tell us?
Well, yeah, Ted, we really couldn't see him sitting in the gallery either. He was sitting in that glass area, sitting behind his attorneys, Alan Jackson, Elizabeth Little, a similar defense attorney lineup to the Karen retrial. Of course, that's where our Court TV viewers know Alan Jackson from. But you know, that big news today, waived his right to a speedy trial. Alan Jackson asked for that continuance to January 7th. And of course, again, Nick Reiner sat behind that glass there. We were not able to see him. It was really quiet, really somber. And you can see this media frenzy going on out here behind me, Ted. Just a whole crazy scene out here today. But let's walk back through some of those heavy charges filed by the DA's office here in Los Angeles. Here's DA Nathan Hochman walking through those charges. Take a listen.
Today I'm here to announce that our office will be filing charges against Nick Reiner, who is accused of killing his parents, actor-director Rob Reiner, and photographer-producer Michelle Singer Reiner. These charges will be 2 counts of first-degree murder with a special circumstance of multiple murders. He also faces a special allegation that he personally used a dangerous and deadly weapon, that being a knife. These charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. No decision at this point has been made with respect to the death penalty.
Now, Ted, of course, we also know that Nick Reiner has been very vocal in the past about his struggles with addiction and homelessness early on in his teen years, as early as 15, even going on to co-write a movie with his father, now deceased Rob Reiner, called Being Charlie, that was loosely based upon his early struggles in his life. Here's them talking about what that was like throughout making that movie. Take a listen.
It really clicked for me because we didn't bond a lot as a kid. Like, he really liked baseball, I like basketball, and he could watch that with my brother, but baseball. But I just, when I saw him do that, and it was something that I'm interested in, I was like, wow, like, he really knows a lot, and like, it made me feel closer to him.
And you know, Ted, we've heard a lot about this Christmas party at Conan O'Brien's Los Angeles home that Saturday night before the stabbings took place on Sunday. Now, that's apparently where Nick Reiner got into a big, loud argument with his father, Rob Reiner. His mom, Michelle, was also in attendance. And according to TMZ, they say Nick Reiner got into a heated argument with his parents again at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party on Saturday. Rob and Nick got into a very loud argument where Rob and Michelle left the party, and people noticed Nick Reiner acting strangely. So, Ted, of course, a lot of questions still left unanswered here, but we do know that Nick Reiner will be back in court on January 7th. Now, Alan Jackson, his attorney, spoke out here to media afterwards. He kind of reiterated that this is a complex case that needs to be looked at very thoroughly in order for justice to prevail. Ted?
All right, Cody Thomas for us outside the Los Angeles County Courthouse there in downtown L.A. Cody, thank you. Joseph Tully, Alexis Rosenberg are still with us. Joseph, to you first. Pushing the arraignment date back, what's the strategy there?
It's either one of two things or maybe both. Number one, he wants to get everything ready, laid out, get his defense in place prior to making the plea and kind of kicking the ball into motion, so to speak. I always think of arraignment as like the kickoff. Nothing really happens. That didn't happen today. On the other hand, it could be that the business matters need to be worked out. Somebody called him, he's out there, but you know, they don't know who's going to pay him. They're not sure that the people who want to pay him are going to pay him. People who have money don't want to pay it. So there could be that he hasn't been formally retained yet.
Good point. Yeah, interesting. Alexis, does that ring true? And would he have to come out and say not guilty by reason of insanity out of the gate? You can always go to that, can't you?
It really depends on the jurisdiction with regard to that. So I'm not licensed in California, so I can't specifically answer that. But some jurisdictions do have times when you specifically have to enter that particular plea. So it could be the case in this manner, or like you said, he wants to gather more information and get more time. He knows, Alan Jackson knows he is not going to be released on bond. So at this point, it was a question whether you know, waiving speedy or not was going to be a problem, and apparently he doesn't think that that was an issue.
Joseph, on that question of not guilty by reason of insanity, would that be something you would articulate out of the gate?
I have done that before. I would recommend it. When you have the case with the facts that support it, pleading insanity out of the gate can give you a lot of strategic advantages as a defendant. Even in cases of this magnitude where we're dealing with a double homicide and murder charges here. So I believe that it would be a wiser thing to do to plead NGI right out of the gate.
Again, today's hearing, we just watched it, 90 seconds in length, very short. Nick Reiner waived his right to a speedy trial. Alan Jackson, along with the DA's office, came up with the January 7th date, and that the judge took that. So that is when Nick Reiner will be back in court, presumably giving the defense an opportunity to really assess the situation and then move on. Joseph Tully, thank you. Alexis is going to stick around for us the next hour. We're going to get a break. Coming up, more on the arraignment or lack of Nick Reiner. His first court appearance. A lot of questions still remain. You heard Nathan Hochman, the DA, saying they haven't made a decision on whether or not they'll pursue the death penalty. Lots to unravel. Stay with us.